Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name's Carmen, and today we're going to do another general reading. So whatever comes out, let's call in spirit with someone jumped in. That was a good one. I feel like that was like making me think of someone going all the way through a xylophone or something like that. And it's making me feel like somebody may have a lot of the puzzle pieces to a situation that happened at a distance from them. And they've been able to kind of piece things together through word of mouth or maybe messages through dreams or intuition. And I feel like there's somebody that's going to come in and give you a little bit more, like fill in those gaps so that you can put those pieces all together finally. And last night I was playing around and started with the Gypsy Oracle. And maybe just because it's smaller, I like to look at it more as like a clarifier, but I kind of like starting with it, so I'm going to do that for you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Thank you everyone for the well wishes for my health. I appreciate that. And for your patience with my video getting cut off at 5 minutes. I'm not sure what happened there, but thanks, Bob, for giving me a heads up on that. Alright, so I'm reading for somebody here that may be expecting something to come in. This feels kind of romantic to me, like somebody's waiting for communication. But the person that they're waiting for communication from has been not necessarily actually imprisoned, but stuck somewhere, right? So this could be like a feminine waiting for a masculine to, handle the business so that they can pick up where they left off, is what I heard. So we have scholar. This is somebody who's really educated, somebody who has probably even taken a rather strategic or tactical approach to the situation that's happening. And this feels to me like it doesn't have to be the masculine. Okay, and then we have money. We could even have somebody who's waiting for karma. They may be waiting to be imprisoned because they know they've done something they shouldn't have regarding money. Remember I said somebody had part of the puzzle, right? They knew kind of what happened, but not everything. Well, what if somebody here kind of knows who stole something from them, but not entirely? In case you guys have missed him, here's Mr. Hambone. Would you like to do a reading with me? What does that say? Cat constancy. Exactly. Alright, sorry. So I feel like for some of you, this could literally be somebody waiting for communication from somebody who is stuck or in a pretty difficult situation. Others of you, this is somebody who's waiting to have the consequences of their actions. We have constancy, which kind of gives me like Empress vibes, and sorrow in the reverse. So we'll see what the tarot has to say in terms of clarifying these, but I think a lot of you have kind of a third-party situation where somebody was trying to take from another. That person has been found out, and the person who was being stolen from or was about to be stolen from has an idea of where they want to go next, and they're not upset about this ending because I feel like this person actually maybe was already at the point of wanting to end that relationship anyways. We'll continue with, I think it's actually called the Beginner Tarot, but it's got this phrase at the bottom that I really like, kind of clarifying for you what each card means, at least in the upright. else do we have? Yep, somebody is waiting for news, and I don't think necessarily for good news. It's like somebody's trying to distract themselves while waiting for bad news. Yeah. So, do you see how with the Page of Wands we have somebody who is kind of examining the stick? I feel like there's somebody here who is kind of like reflecting on their actions, like how bad was it and how much was like caught on tape? What's the actual damages, right? And so we might even have somebody here who's speaking with a lawyer. And with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, it does feel to me like this was somebody who was trying to steal. It doesn't have to be literally money, it could be assets, of course. And I feel like it was in a romantic situation. So it doesn't have to be like wife and husband situation, but it could have been. So there could be some legal justification for this, but I think even just from like an emotional standpoint, I feel like it's a masculine energy that has been stolen from, was, I believe, targeted by somebody that he cared about. And as a result, there's this desire for this masculine to have some time to himself. We have seclusion on this card. And what is this scholar doing? He's reading. So I feel like somebody's doing a little bit of research or maybe just chilling, right? Like not looking for much social interaction because, again, you're, moving past somebody doing something pretty unforgivable. There's some sense of chaos here regarding the funds. I look at this like kind of like pantry in the back as more of a bank because we're talking about money. So I feel like somebody has had to assess the accounts, figure out where the assets all were, whether or not it's like taking inventory. What's missing? What did you take? Four of Pentacles. What did you take from me? So it feels like this masculine has dealt with a number of individuals that have wanted to take from him or use him in some way. This might not be somebody who's very familiar with a true unconditional love kind of relationship. And I feel with the Eight of Cups in the reverse, there is somebody here they want to reconcile with because they do feel like this is somebody they could trust. Let's see. I'll continue with the Meta Muse. And I was also going to try to ask a few of you if you're interested in another video where I talk through some of the decks of tarot that I have. I've obviously amassed quite a few. There's like tons down here too that I don't even generally use for the general readings, but if you guys are interested in another video where I talk through some of those, let me know. I think maybe 4 months ago I did 2 or 3 where I introduced, God, it might have even been more like 6 months ago, where I introduced some of the first decks that I got. So if you guys want more of that, let me know. So we do have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse coming out to clarify the Page of Wands. So again, there was something here that didn't feel like good news, right? I often see the Page of Wands as good news, like being excited about something. But with the waiting card, there was something here that didn't seem right. And it's like, with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, somebody knew there was an end of a relationship here, End of trust. Six of Pentacles. There seems to me like an expectation that this person has of being caught up or being exposed for not being willing to share with the person that was sharing with them, right? Taking from somebody who was sharing instead of giving back. So, yeah, I feel like somebody's facing consequences. Ooh. Oh my. Okay. Well, that explains why I reached for this deck. So this is the Tree of Life card, and you won't find this in other tarot decks. Maybe in one or two. I haven't found them, but I really like this card because it comes out when somebody has gone through a pretty serious situation that has caused them to awaken. So this masculine energy has gone through a spiritual awakening as a result of this betrayal. And what I think in particular we have here is somebody who has had to decide, at what point do I cut this person that I care about off? In other words, how long do I let my love for somebody blind me to the way that they treat me and blind me to the way that I deserve to actually be treated? Because we have severity and mercy. And these are supporting the pillars that we usually see in the High Priestess. If you've seen the letters B and J on those pillars, now you can see what they actually stand for. We have Boaz and, correct me if I'm wrong, Yachin? Jachin? Tell me what it is, because I'm not sure. But that's another reason I think we have this Scholar card coming out, is somebody was really digging deep, thinking about their own morals, their own standards, what they should do if they wanted to be in the right, how they should respond to a situation like this, a betrayal like this, especially if it's somebody who could be, for an example, like the mother of their children, because they're going to be very cognizant of the fact that the people around them, their family members, their spouse's family members, are going to have an opinion on that, right? So we have the Moon in the reverse. This feels to me like not somebody sharing their secret, like, I'm going to do the right thing and tell you that, I did something disrespectful before you find out about it. This is somebody finding out things were missing, things were not as they should be, without this person admitting it. So I think when somebody was doing some sort of inventory or taking shit, maybe they were doing their taxes, somebody noticed shit was off. Two of Pentacles. This would have been something with constancy being clarified here that was always the same. So this isn't like checking your 401k account to see how much you've lost over the last 3 months. It's like, no, I specifically call it 50 grand in that account, and it's not there. There's no reason for that to be gone unless this person, the only person who has access to that account, or forged my name. It was a very serious situation because it wasn't something like, do you see how we have the pantry door open? It's like, this is how the masculine found the situation, knowing full well that door was shut and locked. And then with the Seven of Cups here, clarifying the Eight of Cups in the reverse, there's a realization here that of the options this masculine had, he had chosen the wrong one in terms of the partner he has. And he may even be going back to that list of options thinking, I know who I should have chosen. Now that I know who the snake is, maybe that snake even lied to me about the other people. Now I know who the real gem in that selection or that list is, right? Alright, we'll get the situations deck going since we've got some interesting things going on here. If this is resonating for you, go ahead and give me a like or a subscribe. Let's do that.
projected future days, weeks, months, and focused eyes for you.
So it feels to me like this person is very obsessed with hanging on to a connection here with this well-to-do masculine energy, and maybe lost sight of how to organically make that relationship work instead of forcing it. And as a result, now it looks like within the next couple of weeks, this ex, I think, is going to be dealing with the consequences of their actions. So we have nightlife coming out. And I don't think that's the focus here. It's clarifying the tree of life. I think this is about the take a risk or the gamble. There's something here about this masculine realizing what's really important in life, having a change in perspective. And I think the risk here is going to be about securing a life where he doesn't have to worry about these risks with people taking from him all the time, right? Who was this option that didn't make him worry about that? Who maybe is clearly independent, right? Not this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, but the Nine of Pentacles in the upright. Was that painful? Okay, so we have receipts clarifying the moon in the reverse. I'm not going to lie, this is the card that I saw in my third eye when I pulled this deck. And that's because I figured with the moon in the reverse telling me that somebody here discovered the wrongdoing, they weren't told about it in an honest way, they found evidence, right? We have Drama Queen. This is clarifying the Two of Pentacles. We may have somebody here who is trying to, what's the phrase, rob Peter to pay Paul, I think. So with the Two of Pentacles, because it's about balancing, and the fact that there's a snake around, like kind of doing the infinity symbol around those pentacles, I feel like we have somebody that was being dishonest about their money, trying to hide their deception. So this could have been one of those things where I know I'm going to make, call it a $50,000 commission check, but I don't want to wait 3 months for it. I'm going to take this person's money, I'm married to them, they won't even notice, and then when I get that commission check, I'll put it back. Except for obviously something happened, right? Like, it was in the movies, but it wasn't. I don't feel like paying all of that back, or I didn't pay it back as quickly as I wanted, or I didn't actually make that money at all. And then this masculine energy realized something's happened here. And now this feminine energy doesn't feel like she has any way to explain what happened, because there's really nothing she can say. It's quite obvious that it was her. She might be the only other person that had access to, it might actually be a lockbox in a bank. Alright, so with matters of justice, I do like to use the Masonic Tarot, so we'll use that. And with the Masonic Tarot, I like to give a heads up that they have slightly different symbols for the wands and the pentacles. Pentacles are mallets, and wands are gold. So don't let the gold fool you, it's not pentacles. And for those of you that have heard me explain that like 18 times, sorry. Alright, what else do we have for this situation? The Knave of Chalices. For some reason, this particular Page of Cups always makes me feel like somebody's dealing with a bit of an illusion or not really being honest with themselves. And
I feel like there is somebody here that was trying to, in their own mind, justify their actions, even though they knew
what they were doing would likely be caught or cause them issues. It's like I know I shouldn't run this red light because there's a cop at the intersection, but I really got to get to the sale before they close, and then you get pulled over anyways, you know, like something stupid like that. Like this person had some sense that the person they were dealing with wasn't the kind to just like not notice that something like that was missing, you know. So we have the Sun clarifying scholar and take a risk. So this masculine energy that has been stolen from, by the way, if you resonate with him, I hope you get everything back. I feel like this person, in addition to having been enlightened on what actually happened to this asset or this cash, was also enlightened in this process on what makes him happy. Because the Sun is the happiest card of the deck. So I feel like going through such a betrayal made this masculine energy want to find a way to fix in his life what had set him up for somebody to manipulate him. So we have the Hermit in the reverse. I think this masculine has dealt with some pain and hurt because they really did do what they could to make this relationship work. It's like with the Hermit in the reverse, it's like, I know you're probably treating me poorly. But it's like that idea of, if I don't really know, I can be happy for another day. But this person at a certain point couldn't keep doing that. Maybe this last betrayal or offense or taking something from you was the last straw, right? Like, how could you do that? That was a low blow. I didn't think you were capable of that. And it ended that bond. So we have the Ten of Cups coming out to clarify the drama queen. It feels to me like this masculine energy at one time did have a great love for this partner that stole from him. However, I think there is something here about the masculine realizing that this drama queen was trying to be more similar to this Seven of Cups option that the masculine really wants to be with. So it's almost like a Gone Girl situation, like I'll be the person you want because I want to steal from you and because I know who you actually do have a thing for. Knight of Chalices. I feel like this masculine energy is or was a bit of a heartthrob or had a lot of suitors, but it was hard for him to figure out how many of those were actually emotional versus I just want you to pay my bills. And do you remember I called out with the Tree of Life, we have the two towers, Boaz and, was it Hachin? We literally have those two towers represented with the B and the J on the top of these cards. I'm telling you, somebody now has the full picture. Shit, maybe it's this reading that's giving you the full picture. But I think you're more sophisticated than that. I think this is more like confirmation for you. Alright, we will get just a few more from the Tarot Familiars and then we'll call it a day. For hidden energy, we have the King of Cups
There may have been a third party that this partner lied to this masculine about. In other words, this feminine, it seems like a feminine energy, may have been cheating or working with a masculine energy on this deceit.
And it looks to me like this is one of those situations where these thieves or this thief had not learned their lesson. Maybe they were able to sneak by or escape, persecution, prosecution, until now. And now they're caught, They did a little too much. So this masculine energy, this King of Cups, I feel like has an obsession with the feminine they worked with. So it may have been one of those things where they're not actually a thief at all, but because they are in love with this woman who wanted to take from this man, maybe to start a new life together, he was like, okay, let's do it. But we have the Knight of Swords represented by
crows. So, to be honest,
I feel like for some of you, you had a message in your dreams or signs while you were awake from a deceased family member.
maybe a father looking out for you.
Who saw what was going on and maybe had some tie to what was taken.
Maybe it was property that they'd left you, inheritance they wanted you to use for a child. Seems like there were some angry ancestors here. For others of you, this is representative of messages, because birds can be just in general representative of communication, which is why I feel like it's such a beautiful representation of the Knight of Swords, because it's somebody bringing in information quick. So for those of you that didn't get a message via dreams or from an ancestor, this is more about maybe a piece of mail alerting you to a change in your 401k account or in your banking account, or somebody sending you a text message, an email, something like that, and it didn't make sense.
We have the Empress coming out to clarify receipts. When I first looked at this Empress card, what I saw was the horse, and maybe it's just because I'm excited for Halloween. We have this horse here. I saw that bead hanging down, and for some reason I saw the other side of the horse's house at horse's face as a skull.
So I feel like the message was two-faced, right? This person could have a child that they were maybe hoping this masculine would take care of. I don't know that this is this masculine's child, but I feel like we have somebody that was willing to take because they felt justified. I don't get a good vibe off this Empress card, which is unusual. We have the Devil in the reverse.
This is clarifying the Ten of Cups.
So I feel like this drama queen felt exposed when somebody who was actually an Empress showed up on the scene.
Five of Wands in the reverse.
And proved that this drama queen was no competition. There was something so clearly, we have constancy, right? This was somebody who was pure of heart, and it made it very clear that this feminine energy was selfish in some way. So there may have been some sort of, almost like each person within this marriage had another person they thought of, but for whatever reason, they felt like they should try to make this work. But I feel like the feminine was flirting with a King of Cups, which could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And the masculine was maybe more so fantasizing or in his thoughts about a woman that was more respectable, more on his level. Maybe he viewed her as more of an equal when it came to intellectual conversation. It's like, for some of you, I hear this masculine thinking, number one, this empress would have never stolen. Number two, she wouldn't have got caught. You know, like that. I have respect for you because I know that you wouldn't take from me, but I also know you wouldn't be that stupid about it. All right, I hope you enjoyed the reading today and that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.